Hello everyone, so I thought today we would talk about the crane a little bit, found within the okinawa-te, Te-Kempo-Jiujitsu systems. We have a lot of different crane forms and different crane moves and everything else, but I'd like to talk today about just some basic self-defense moves. And oftentimes we can be caught with our hands open, you know, whether we're palming, or we're coming out with a strike, we're coming in with a different strike. We could be palming to the chest and striking to the throat and so forth and so forth. So with the crane's wings, you want to kind of have this type of a motion to where your wrist is loose. It can also be where if someone is coming up to grab you here, you step back and then you hit them with the ridge to the side of the temple. Or you can move here and then ridge to the side of two temples, right? It could also be if a man is coming up here, well, I could just bring this hand up and ridge. Or I could come from here and ridge. So we're using what we call the crane's wings. And later on we can get into the beak and how that's applied, but this basically today is the twin wings, which we call the twin swords or the twin wings out of the system. Now we know that we have a grab tactic, so the man is coming in and he grabs us, and then what we do is we surrender, we step back with the left or the right, and we fire 2 times to the face. That's found in different Kempo systems and so forth. Old school was this, new school is this. But today we're going to work on, just in case we're lucky, and we're going to use crane hands, we're going to part. As the man's coming in, we're going to part his hands, come underneath, and then fire. So as the man's coming in to grab, we're bringing our hands down and around and firing. So it's a circle, moving his hands out of the way, and then firing ridge cuts to his temples. The man's coming in to grab, move, fire. Okay, so those are using some of the crane techniques. Another one could be is if we're working kind of like on a diagonal, so we're off-stepping. What's happening here is we're going to block, we're going to do a double tap, and we're going to come in with a strike. So it's 1, 2, 3. Right? So if I'm here, I'm stepping to the outside, and I'm doing a double tap, and then coming across with wing ridge cuts to his temple, to his neck and then temple, to a double shot with double wings, which can also be done from this technique off the double grab, which could be if you're doing a double shot to the temple or a double shot to the throat, to the back of the sides of the neck. If you're facing him on the side, he happens to turn, well, you could use that same technique if you're hitting him to the throat and the back of the neck. And we see that same technique in the sword and hammer, where we come here. So those, like I said, could be double swords or double wings. We also see this technique here too, where we move our hand. If the guy's coming in to grab, we move and we cut. And you'll see that motion to where if you're moving and cutting, you'll see that out of a form called the falling leaf, which could be a kick and a ridge at the same time, or a block and ridge and kick, and then follow through with whatever hands you like. So that today is just some basics on the crane's wings. You may not fancy that, but some who like to add to their form and give some technique to it, it could come in handy. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll talk with you soon. Thanks.